Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you're watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Love and Marriage Huntsville, which currently airs on the OWN network every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is season 5B, episode 19, I believe it is, the fourth episode on this part B. Thank you for coming to my channel. I appreciate every view. I ask that everyone please like this video. Subscribe to this channel if you are new. As I stated last week, I did have an old channel. This is a new channel now, and I am running up the numbers. I am rebuilding, and just appreciate the support everywhere I can. So tell a friend. Also share this video and give me your comments. What I will say about this episode, just to be honest, it was boring. There was stuff going on, but it's just like, okay. It didn't add too much, so I think that this will be a short video, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we start where we left off with Marcel and Mel. They kind of just go back and forth on different things. Marcel says that he's not taking jabs at people. Bullcrap is just my opinion. I don't think that that's true. He does stuff, he hits low, and that's just where he is. Somehow, see, the thing that gets me is if someone has an opinion about him, then he wants to get petty with you. So then what, how can you say that you're not going low or taking jabs? Because you should be able, if somebody has an opinion, it should be able to hit you and you go on about your life. But it doesn't, because you think that you need to get back. So there is something there. I mean, it's arrogance and pride as to how you operate. And it's really weird. And I think that this show has just boosted your ego to the fact to think that you are just up there with God in them somewhere. So, I don't know. Mel is talking about, you're afraid that Tisha being around me is going to influence her to help really leave you. And Marcel says, it's not true. I want you guys to be in a great space. And Mel brought up a point of, it can't be true because of the times that we were going through it. It's really been you that's been influencing us not being in a great space. Because I was going toe to toe with you a lot, and then she would take your side and all this, blah, 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 blah. They get on the part of trying to discredit people's businesses. He feels like because she does t-shirts that he doesn't think that t-shirts are on a great level scale of business or whatever. And he also was stating that he didn't know that Mel was still in the property preservation business. And she's like, how can you not? You even made comments on social media about me being in it. So where are we going with all of this? And that doesn't make... How can y'all be living in Huntsville? Y'all know everybody's mess, but you don't know anybody's business accolades or business regimen. That doesn't make sense. You know my mess, but you don't know my goodness. You don't know my professionalism. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. And she's like, I've been an entrepreneur 5 years prior to even knowing you. And when we were helping you to get your start in all of this, why are you downplaying me? I just didn't know that. You don't know nobody else's businesses but you and Maurice, I guess. I don't get that. For some reason, Scott's 1.0 wants to downplay the Holtz, but we wouldn't even know you guys without the Holtz. And I think that's crazy. I don't want to downplay Scott's 1.0, but when you want to get petty and stupid, then I don't really care to acknowledge your contributions to business. Because if we're being really straight up, okay, we know about your bar, you're black, but what's up with that? We don't hear anything. You said that you were ready to expand, and then home base wasn't even together. That was 2 seasons ago when Jalen was like, why y'all got me here doing this? All of this work, y'all leaving me here to try to learn on the job and just face everything, and everybody doesn't learn like that. So you were going to expand to, I think, the Texas area. And I think recently you said that you were trying to bring it to Michigan too. And home base ain't even all together, unless you got it together. But we don't know because you don't share any of that on TV. All we hear is about cheating stuff. That's all we hear about. That's all we hear about. And then it's denied. Nobody has any receipts. And we're going through this stupid loop that I just don't even care. I don't care if you got 20 women. I don't care if you got 20 more babies. I don't care about it. I hope you are. Katisha ain't leaving you. Whatever. So somehow Marcel gets on the bankruptcy that Mel went through. And she said, well, wait a minute. I only filed bankruptcy because Martel filed bankruptcy first. And he wasn't going to put that all on me. But let's talk about your $5 million lawsuit. And you have also filed bankruptcies. And I could have said that I didn't want to do business with you because of your own bankruptcies that you had. How would you feel about that? He said he would have respected that. Well, then I don't get it. You think that everybody has to be perfect by your mindset. Everything has to be perfect in business. You can't have any ups and downs in business and without being a success. That's not how it goes. Now, even okay, pre-presidency, I will say this about Donald Trump. I'm talking about pre-president Trump. He still was able to file bankruptcy, what, 3 times or whatever, and still this big business guy. I'm just going with that. Just walk with me with there for a second, and we're going to drop it. Your failures are going to help push you and elevate you to more success. I don't know what's in his mind. I don't know who raised him, but he's very meatheadish, as Archie Bunker used to say. Like, you're just, I don't like you. I don't like how you think, and I don't like how you think that you are the best business person, the best example. Hopefully you find some new business people to work with this expo, since you know it all and got it all together. So in the end, Marcel says that I value you. I value your marketing. And they came to an understanding that just because we have an opinion, it's not taking a jab. So Mel met him halfway down the road. So he does tell them that Kimmy and Maurice want to have a town hall meeting. They're hosting it because it's probably going to be us taking everything negative, and we don't want to have that. But then when we get to this meeting, it's going to be a different story. But let's put a plug in that, and let's get on to Tiffany and Louis. I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm disappointed in the Black community in this day and age. And the reason I say that is because of how much we think people just need to suffer through stuff. So Tiffany, Louis, and Ace, they go to a park for a little picnic. Of course, Ace is a hungry little boy, and he wants mama's milk. Tiffany and Louis, they kind of cut to the chase, possibly because of how editing is. And she's like, it's so great to have you around. Everyone's asking, like, where's Lou? And he's like, well, I have a new position, and he's out coaching and all this good stuff. And Tiffany's having a lot of questions within her head because really she's going through postpartum. She had a total vision and a package in her mind in adding a child on their plate as a family and on her plate as a woman, a businesswoman, wife, and mother, that she didn't even think that she would have postpartum depression. She couldn't even imagine it. And I think that she may have come to the conclusion that she does have it. I just hope that even right now that just recognizing it, that she does get help with it and not try to suffer through it. She has a lot of thoughts and feelings and how she feels like Louis is not there. And I see a lot of people online saying, well, you asked for this and Louis told you about that. No, and I'm glad that Tiffany said this during the episode. Louis said that Tiffany was too busy to have all of this. They couldn't even have sex like he wanted to because she's always gone. And it looks like the roles have switched up. Even though Tiffany's still doing her thing with business, she takes Ace to school, not to school, to work with her. I see her on Instagram. If anyone follows her at all, the baby comes with her at all times. So it's like Tiffany has not skipped a beat. How she feels like, she feels like she's not doing enough. And she says that she cries for no reason. And she could be doing all of this and doing all that, being a mother and all that, and she doesn't feel like she's doing enough. She says that she didn't really appreciate having Louis around now that he's not there like he is before. Like different things that he would do around the house, he's not there for because he's out coaching and doing all of this. And Louis is kind of like, well, when I'm there, but I still got to take care of business. Tiffany wants to have more quality time with her. She wants to feel his touch. She's in a vulnerable space. She has thoughts of, okay, are you out there? Or could you possibly be messing around? It's not that Louis is doing anything. He says his home base is solid, and this is where I want to be. That's a lot of stuff that's going through Tiffany's mind. Tiffany talks about, well, the most the doctor will let her lift is the baby. Anything else she can't do. She can't exercise. She feels a certain way about her body post-pregnancy. She says that she weighs more than when she was even pregnant. And she's going through a lot, and I think that she needs more support. And again, I'm going to just address people on social media because I made a post after someone said, you just need, Tiffany, you asked for this, Louis told you about it, and now you just need to grow up and just handle it all. One thing about the Black community is that we will push people and tell people to suffer through it. And then we're not mindful of how we push people into suicide and push people into mental breakdowns. Then you're wondering why people have murdered their whole family or unalived their own family. It happens, or they end their lives for themselves. I believe that it is a slavery mentality. We were just taught, or our generations, past generations were taught to go on and build this and do this for master. We ain't going nowhere. You have no choice. Jim Crow, we have no choice. We got to just suffer through it. It don't matter how many ninjas they call us, how they treat us. We just got to grin it and bear it. And we're in a radical generation where that stuff does not fly. And I'm glad that more people are waking up for crying out for help and not acting like you got to be machines out here and dying on the inside, having heart failure, heart disease, strokes, dying so soon because we're bearing so much. Black people are blessed. We are anointed. We are phenomenal at what we do. But guess what? We have our breaking points and we need to get help before we do break. So again, Tiffany was the one that was supposed to be so overworked and all of this, but no. Now it's Lewis that seems to not have as much time. So at this point, Lewis has made a conscious decision that he will make more quality time to be with his wife. All right, so this town hall meeting was a mess. And I'm going to say this. Stormy, you are immature. Y'all say y'all like her. I understand where she gets it from. So y'all cannot like the mama, but Stormy is the same way. I understand you being upset about the whole thing about the $100 and what Marceau did and all that, but why even come to the meeting? She said that she felt like how Kimmy presented it, it was supposed to be a group effort to make the Black Expo better. But it looks like it's just going to be the Scots being the leaders of everything, and everything has to be subjected to them. And they don't want to be a part of that. I don't blame them. But why would you come to a meeting and then not even try to say hello to Marceau? I know who Marceau is. I don't like him and I can't stand him. But you from Mississippi, lady, and there's no level of respect to just give someone a hello. You did the same thing to Tisha at Tiffany's thing. You did the same thing to Mel. All because y'all are not as friends as you thought that you were going to be friends. Who cares? That is so immature and crazy. So just go back to your business and get off the show, because it doesn't look like you really want to be friends with people, in my opinion. I'm not saying you got to be friends with them, but you don't even know how to be professional when it needs to be professional. There was a lot of pettiness and cattiness that was going on. At least Kimmy did point out that Marceau was being petty first, but really Stormy was being petty first. Stormy was being petty by not at least acknowledging Marceau's presence and speaking to him, saying hi. Then again, they start going back and forth, and it gets into this whole, he's a bitch. He says it again. I'm surprised Tisha's still letting it. I'm surprised, because Tisha always is stand by your man, but whatever. They kind of, Martell brought up some points, which was as far as devaluing people that now have this platform, Love and Marriage Huntsville, to do whatever they need to do. You're kind of making, Marceau is kind of making it irrelevant. Like, you can't really speak to people of business ventures because you've had a great leap into doing what you do and making your business successful. Well, then Marceau, that disqualifies you too. What are you doing? Like, how can you say, because all you did is try to bring people that have a platform outside of Stormy and Courtney, because they just got here and have been booming without this television show. Nobody would know anything about you, and you wouldn't have been successful. Y'all were in the red, as y'all said, before this platform. So it's a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's contradictive at how you're trying to downplay everyone else besides you. And there's this arrogancy that comes out of you that is very annoying to actually view. So Mel brings her points about we need to talk about the behind the scenes stuff. Tisha said, well, we don't really want to talk about that. If it's not about the expo itself, then we don't really want to speak of it. And she said, oh no, you can't dismiss what I got to say, Mel said. Because what happens behind the scenes is going to propel itself into the front when the actual function. Of course, I'm telling you, how you are on the inside, how you are behind the scenes is going to show up to the public. Whether it showed up this time or not, hey. Well, one thing is it's showing up on television because people know what has happened. And I'm sure people are going to second guess on if they really want to come to this expo next year, unless they want to be on camera. When they know exactly how Marceau moves, why would I want to come to this mess? I mean, you're going to take your chances on having another expo. I'm just letting y'all know. It may or may not work. So everything didn't really work out. Stormy and Courtney ended up walking out because they wanted to be petty, along with Marceau, and they just don't really feel that great about it. And Marceau wants to disrespect Tiffany for no apparent reason, and want to talk down to them. Said to what's her name, Stormy, called her sweetie and all this. There's no way I would do business with Scott's 1.0. Not at all. So anyways, after all the mess, Kimmy and Nell, they sit down. She invites Nell over just to say, look, before it gets out there, I need to let you know why I didn't really invite you to the town hall meeting. I really wanted people that were actually at this particular expo to give feedback. And Nell said, I don't understand why I could not be a part of that. They end up going back and forth for a second, but Nell ended up saying that I agree to disagree, and I respect that. Kimmy says she respects that. Nell said in her confessional that she believes that the core six needs to understand that just more than them are able to handle business and got some business intelligence that they can offer to the group. I think that they want their voice heard at this point. We move on to Martell. It's the last thing. It looks like he has joined up with a guy named Fred. All Trust and Halt is the company name, and they're building residential properties. A particular property, which I do know about because that's the only property that I see Martell's name on in the Huntsville area. They are now developing it, and they are forecasting to having the house done by September of 2023. So they're getting that together, and somehow Martell was able to go get the building permit and the building plans. I don't know if they're just using Fred's builder's license or he actually got his builder's license. I didn't go check to see if he actually got it. I would think that after all the talk of the town about him not having his license, that he would have definitely let us know that he had his license. So I don't think he had it, and somehow was able to use Fred in order to get all of these plans done. But I will see if there is a permit on the property and whose name is it in, and then we'll know for sure in regards to who got the builder's license. So while they're talking, here comes Chris. Chris is like, well, when are you moving out of the house that you're in? He said he needs about another week and a half. He said that's going to be past the month. It's going to be the first of the month, and the owner needs that property. They need their space. He said, I'll get into it. Oh, you're going to get me a moving truck? Like, no, you need to get up out of there. You're still trying to take advantage of Chris. So Chris talks about how Martell is really downplaying about what the Hulks have done in the community and even in business, and Martell's not having it. He feels like if y'all gonna be friends or whatever, we made y'all before y'all even had anything, and now you're trying to treat us like we're nothing. Don't do that. So obviously there's going to be a discussion, as we even saw in the preview on next week. Again, I feel like it was a bunch of nothing. It's like little small petty arguments that's not really adding any value to the show, because we're still arguing about the expo 4 episodes in. I need a new arc. Some things I felt like, okay, we're back to where we're at, but if we're just still fighting the same way we fought in season 1, what are we doing? Nobody wants to listen to anyone, and it's just too many egos, and it's just really tiresome to keep watching. Disagreements do happen, but the way that it keeps perpetrating and rotating on the show is boring. That's all I do have. Please give me your comments. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Until the next one, peace.